You got the agenda open and it's actually loaded?
I do.
It didn't just destroy your computer completely?
No, it took a while though. I'm not gonna lie. It was working real hard.
Welcome to the Deadzone Podcast. Deadzone is the sci-fi tabletop miniature skirmish game from Frantic Gamers. And now, here are your hosts Rob Harper and Jack Pike. I am your announcer, William Randolph Wintergreen.
Welcome to the 86th episode of Deadzone the Podcast for July 2018. In this episode, we have a lot of shoutouts to catch up on. As always, you can go to deadzonegame.podbean.com to see all the pictures, or you can go to youtube.com/c/Deadzone the Podcast for the video version of the show. And now on to the episode.
And welcome to the Deadzone Podcast. My name is Jack, and with me, as always, is my cohort, my partner in crime, the benefactory of all of my goodwill and all of my prayers and thoughts.
No, I'm the wind beneath your wings.
That is also true.
Yes, my name is Rob. I am here. This is Deadzone the Podcast. And we got some news to talk about, and we have a lot of shoutouts because we've been neglecting the shoutouts. And it's what is it, July? It's a little late, or I think we're a week late on this one just because we had to do DZTV. If you missed it, the live show on YouTube, go over and check that out. We had Coach on talking Outbreak. So we won't really talk too much about Outbreak on the podcast because we've already talked about it on that. Plus, everyone else has done it to death. We don't really have to say much more, right, Jack?
Yeah, no, we're not the. If you're looking for like breaking news, if you're looking for like the in-depth, like, you're really in the wrong place. If you want to chat, you want to sit and listen to a couple of your buddies dish a little dirt. Well, then kick back, relax, put your feet up, crack a beer. You're in for the hobbyist version of Outbreak.
Yep, hobby and community. That's what we're about. But we're also about news.
None in the news.
Thank you. You knew that was what I was waiting for.
I did. You've banned it. You forbade it from being done, but also you want it. So puts me in a tough place.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want it, but I want it.
No.
So news, we do have a Star Saga in the Mantic store. We have a lot of new stuff, so we'll go over that. Star Saga Nameless Goliath expansion is out. It's a Star Saga expansion, but it comes with Nameless Goliath, which you can use in Deadzone. I believe this is the only way to get him right now. He doesn't come as a Deadzone guy, he's only in the Star Saga. But as the team building exercise at the end of this month will show, we're all about the Nameless. So this big boy, for the whole expansion, which is Terror of the Deep with the Goliath, gives the stats for him in Star Saga. It's 25 pounds or $40. So you're getting a Goliath for $40 pretty much. And I think we all can agree he's huge and he's awesome.
Right. And like we said in the team building exercise, you're probably gonna have to buy 3 editions of Star Saga to really quench the thirst that is the Nameless.
But Nameless are coming out in little packs because they have a Nameless Carotid booster. For some reason, they have the Carotid in a booster, not the Scutlers like we want. But the 2 Carotids for £13.50 or $18. You get 2 of those Carotids if you need to pump up the Carotids in your army. And that's
I think.
Yep.
I think that's going to be a staple, the Carotid, though. Like, people are going to want their scrimps.
It's a little steep price, though. You're going to be paying $9 each for little size 1 models. I think it'd be better priced if you just buy the Nameless Dreadball team and mod them up. That's my words of wisdom from Rob today. But the thing that you can't just mod up is the Nameless Bathomite for 15 pounds or $20. It's only $20. These Strider prices here. He's not as big as a Strider, but he's about the same size as an Iron Ancestor. We do have some great pics from Rob Berman. He posted up showing them the Bathomite next to a Strider and next to an Iron Ancestor. He's a little shorter than the Strider, but about the same height as an Iron Ancestor. This one's also strangely, this is the studio one. the studio painter decided to put him up on his haunches a bit, so he's got a cockeyed tank. He's kind of an odd stance he's got going here.
I've said it looks like a pet taking a tight turn on the linoleum floor. It's kind of skidding sideways.
I think it looks like he's lifting his leg to pee on a hydrant.
Oh. But it is an odd, because all the legs and everything look like it's supposed to be flat, like all those positions are flat, but also the tentacles that I assumed were like probing the ground for like morsels.
Yeah, they look weird.
Flat bottom, yeah. But needless to say,
if you were going to do this, you'd have to mod it up so that the legs were moved in a different position.
Yeah, but it's still a gorgeous model.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's a cool little tank shrimp tank, or lobster. We haven't decided yet.
Killer whale tank.
You also can buy the Plague Bursters now. £15 or $20 for 2 Plague Bursters. That's a pretty good deal, I think. Those things, I assume these are still the metal versions, and those things were like paperweights. You could kill someone. They should be in the new version of Clue.
But once again, if someone wanted to see these pictures, there's a lot of them. Especially you want to see the Bathomite in all its glory because it's the new hotness. But also these bursters are pretty sweet. Rob, where would you be able to follow along with these?
Deadzonegame.podbean.com, or you can go onto the YouTube and you search for Deadzone the Podcast on YouTube. Not the Deadzone Podcast, which is some show about cars, I guess, on YouTube. We are Deadzone the Podcast. Don't mix it up. Otherwise, you'd be very confused.
No, you'll be seeing one episode that they were able to cobble together about NASCAR. So
yeah,
that's your thing. If you want a year and a half old news about NASCAR, feel free, go over there. You smash that subscribe button. You ding that dong. You do all that. But
if you want to see what a burster looks like, come on to Deadzone the Podcast.
Yes.
And Jack, you got some early bursters. I wonder if they have solved some of the issues you had with them.
No, they didn't, and I can say that. I can say that because they are metal miniatures with parts that do need to form. The torso is actually a front and back, and there's some other stuff. And going way back, metal miniatures have that. There's that. I don't know when it cools, just the warping and stuff. So unless these are now made out of resin or something else, if they're still the metal miniatures, I'm going to say that you're going to need to do a little bit of work.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious to see if it is they've switched to resin, because they do have their in-house resin, but I think these are still coming from China. These ones. That's why they're so much cheaper than the some of the other ones. You can always tell what Mantic's doing in-house because it's a lot more expensive. Those British people need their money, where the Chinese people just have to do it cheaply.
But with that being said, I've claimed to enjoy painting a lot of things, and I do. There's some I really enjoyed the Tunneler. There's a couple other things the bursters were a pleasure to paint. I really, really did enjoy it. So, a little bit of, modeling issues to get it together, but once you're painting.
And I did look it up just now. It is 2 metal large infantry. So there you go. Even though they're in the Deadzone section, it says for Warpath or they hate Deadzone, I should say.
And to further, just on the burster front, it comes with multiple arms and multiple legs as well. Mm. The pack that we got.
Yeah, it does say it has alternate components, including tentacles and mutations.
The one leg I used, it looks like it's part tree trunk. It's like elephantitis. It is amazing. But so I guess I cannot stop filleting how great these models are. They grab some. If you're planning to play Plague, you can look at the stats and go, I don't know. They've got their issues. You can critique, but putting one on the board just says volumes.
And going along with the models you love and you can't get enough of, the next is the Plague Murder Birds are available. for the same price, £15 or $20. You loved those models. Every little, especially the little ones, the ones with all their wings attached. That was your favorite model to put together, wasn't it?
The ones on the brick wall, the vulture on the chest, and the big eagle-looking one. They've painted it like a vulture as well, but I turned mine into a bald eagle because I thought, in today's climate,
it's patriotic.
Climate, yeah, it was just a scathing commentary on American politics. But they were on my desk as like almost decoration. I don't do that. I don't like clutter. I don't like things. But they stuck on my desk for a long time. The small ones, the Type 2, they've given them Type A and Type B, or Type 1 and Type 2 for murder birds now for some reason. I don't know why. But the little cluster ones, yuck. You have to glue them so that their arms, their wings are all touching so that they make it kind of a cluster, and I can see what they're going for, but it does not look good. They've got some MySpace angles here that make it look like, oh, those are nice models, but from the edge, so you can't see that everything's kind of just like mushed together. No, thank you. I have one right here on my desk. You can hear it. It's going to be attached to the top of a statue, and then I've got a couple others that I'm going to put on a dead body, but that's it. I couldn't even. I tried to put them together. Honestly, the glue was not sufficient, and it looked like it's the best they could do. You had to get no.
Well, some other companies have done bird flocks a lot better, so that's the question. Is that the best they could do?
Yeah.
You do get 5 different models, even if you include the little ones, for $20, so that's not a bad price. And speaking of things that are made in-house, the Asterion Bombard upgrade pack is available now. It's the Bombard for the Asterion drones. I've been asking this forever. The only issue is £5 or $10 for one Bombard. $10 for a piece of plastic or resin, maybe what it's made out of, about the size of a thumbnail. It is teeny, and it's $10, and I refuse. I put my foot down. I was asking for this, but for that price, no way. That's crazy.
You were a big proponent of this. You were asking for years, actually, and this is all you really wanted. But you're into Mantic for hundreds of dollars for Outbreak and for all these little things. The 5, that's a bridge too far, I think.
That's
how
crazy.
How much do you think would be reasonable?
Like half that price? Like $5?
I did say 5. I was almost going to say I think $5, but I want to get your opinion.
Even then, that's a little expensive for something that small. Like maybe 2 for $5. Like these are small little pieces of plastic.
They should be sold in 2s anyways, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
because they've sold hundreds of the drone themselves.
Yeah,
and people have been magnetizing various things on there.
I guess that they think Asterion players are all rich. That's what it is. They can just afford this kind of stuff because you need like 6 of them. So,
well,
I'm not spending $60 on pulse bombards.
No.
The next one is an odd thing, but it's a good price. 2 stealth jet bikes for £8 or $13. So $13 for 2 jet bikes is awesome, but these ones are made out of clear plastic, so they're stealth. That's pretty awesome. We might have to get some of these just for the whole idea of having clear ones.
We heard about these a long time ago when they were in the works from our internal sources, like the hey possibles and what would you think, and when you see them, it's just kind of like a novelty thing that is, you just kind of have to have one.
Because they have a new stealth device in the game that they can have to make them invisible. But I don't know how often you do use that. It's just the idea to have crystal clear, crystal-like jet bikes is pretty fun. Somebody had a good idea. I think who was it that said it? I can't remember now. To give him credit to us, I think it might have been Rick Hall even. No, Beetle maybe. I think it was Beetle. He said to spray from the front to get and make it look like they're phasing out. So you paint normal at the front and then just do like a wash in between, and then it looks like they're going invisible. That'd be kind of cool.
So in your mind, the stealth technology starts in the back and moves to the front?
I guess so.
In my mind,
I guess you could do the opposite.
Yeah, in my mind, the stealth would move from the front to the back, but
yeah, you could do the same thing that way too. I guess it's just it would look faster. I guess if it's fading that way. I don't know. But that is all this new stuff in the store. They also there's always new stuff being added all the time. I'm sure we're already behind the curve here, but Mantics they've been good at adding new stuff into there, catching up finally on all the stuff that should have been in there. Still no stunt bots though. We must say that's the one thing that they don't make that's almost a necessity. It's depressing, and until the day that they make stunt bots again, we will still harp on them.
But don't ask like the Pulse Bombard and then
yeah,
get disappointed because
the stunt bot will be $100 if at this point. And another bit of news: Battlescribe has been updated for Outbreak. It's Ben Edwards has been working hard, and he also has a new podcast called Frantic Gamers. So go check that out. He's a great addition to the community with him and his buddies on the Frantic Gamers. Jack, you were saying how you enjoyed the different take from those guys.
Yes. The pilot had tentative gamer Kate, who she wasn't. She's not a gaming pro, but she was getting into it, and it's nice to see a newcomer come in and her takes on it. And it's just him and his buddy. It's a couple British guys he has on, and they just talk a little Mantic games. It's not just Deadzone; it's a whole bunch of stuff. And the second official episode, which I haven't listened to yet, he's going to have or has had on, obviously, is Andrew Sharp from the Rules Committee. So I'm interested to see what he has to say for himself about the goings-ons. Yep,
they have an Outbreak episode that just came out, so check that out if you're into Deadzone. But they also, I think they had a pilot, a Zero episode, which was just introduction and them talking about Ben getting beat in every game all the time, which is hilarious.
That's my favorite bit.
He said it's not a bit. That's just the truth.
Oh, has he commented on my comments?
He did. He got back to me. He said it's not a bit. It's a sad. And the second one's all about Night Stalkers for Kings of War, which is cool if you're into Kings of War. And the third one's about Outbreak, so it's nice to see them doing stuff.
The first official one is about Kings of War for the bulk of it, but they do a thing about how you transport your miniatures and a couple other things. So even if Kings of War is not your bag and you want to just kind of move along, there's some other tidbits in there. So Frantic Gamers, take a listen.
Yeah, I like how it's kind of like a round table too. So it's fun. They're just friends talking and jabbing each other, but not too inside that they let you in on the jokes, which even we forget to do sometimes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it sounds a lot like our podcast, except for more friendly.
Yeah, there's not the animosity between the hosts.
The sexual tension.
You brought it to a dark place.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so Frantic Gamers, you can go to franticgamers.podbean.com. A great place, Podbean. And episode 2 Outbreak is out now, so check that out. And speaking of army builders, Mentemeccanica, our online one we like to use, has been updated mostly to Outbreak. He's working on it slowly but surely, and you can find the link to that site. It's an odd site. I can't just rattle it off like most of them, but the link will be in the show notes if you're into online version. So you could do it on your phone if you don't have Battlescribe or you don't like Battlescribe for some reason. So that's cool.
I'll tell you right now, I used that for a long time before I had someone very patiently walk me through Battlescribe. And Battlescribe is good for my phone, at work, whatever. But if I want to print out a list, if I want to sit down and print out a full list that's formatted properly, Battlescribe is a nightmare. When you print your list out, if you do a horde army, you might as well, you 2 reams of paper later and you're still not out of your troops. So Mentemeccanica, I don't even say the name right. So we say it the way we originally said it before, but if it's go to the show notes. But anyways, it lays it out so much nicer. If I go to a tournament, that's how I'm going to have it printed out. When it's fully up to date, I will be back there again, and I'll be making my lists there for printing out. Trust me. Just go there and try it. Even if you like Battle Scribe and you need a physical copy, hey, here, tournament organizer, here's my list. Oh, hey, you're my opponent for round 1. Here's my list. You either send them, send over a tome across the table or a nicely laid out thing. Trust me.
Yeah.
And if I can use it, anyone can use it.
We'll take a short musical interlude here. We'll come back in a second.
This is Kevin Riddle, and you're listening to Deadzone the Podcast. That's right, Riddle. Not Relay, not Readla, not Rydell, not Riddell. Riddle, just like it's spelled.
It is shout-outs time.
And welcome back to the Deadzone Podcast. And we are about to delve into what is a fan favorite, the shout-outs, where you can interact with us, we interact with you. And it's like two preteens kissing for the first time.
There's many ways you can show us shout-outs. Wow, I turned to Sean Connery there. You can go on Twitter, tag us on Twitter, or you can email us at deadzonepodcast@gmail.com, sending some pictures. You can go on Facebook, and we have our Deadzone Podcast page. You can go there and put some stuff up, or you can just you could tag me in photos if you want to put them up anywhere you post them. If you post them in Deadzone Fanatics, just tag Rob Harper and it should pop up, or I'll find you anyways. I'll find you.
Okay, that didn't sound ominous at all.
So the first shout out we're going to is Aaron Kingham or Kingham. We're not sure because we suck at pronouncing names. And I really wanted to show this one because it really reminds me of like the old school G.I. Joe. Like he did like his hornets and mules up in a deep red color with like lightning bolts all over them. And I think they are cool.
It's like a fireball red, like a fire engine red with magenta and white. I think it's white, magenta and white. Crisscrosses and stuff. It is bizarre, but it looks like, and if we get in the Wayback Machine, I tried to, and we got the Mars, we got the infestation mat, the Mars colored reddish, and I tried to make a couple Pathfinders that looked like they were camouflaged for Martian soil.
Yeah,
and they looked like the feces of someone with colon cancer. These would probably look spectacular on that mat.
Yeah, the red. Yeah, it's very cool. It's different, that's why I like it also. It's not just the green or black or gray. Most people do it similar colors. This one is so different that I wanted to show it off here, and I thought it was an interesting way to go about things. And that's why we showed it out. The next shout out goes to John Jack. He's the Pathfinder extraordinaire, right-hand man to Community Pat, and he gave us a shout-out because he was making some Mars Attacks buildings. I think it's for Mars Attacks. Anyway, some buildings. And he had some posters on the walls, and one of them is a team-building exercise poster with our faces.
Yes, it is. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's not Mars Attacks, but maybe it might be for the Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Secret, hush hush under your hat kind of for Gen Con.
Yeah, could be. It's very cool, anyways. And thank you, John, for throwing our poster up on your walls. And we were like, oh, make these available for everyone. He's like, all I did was shrink down your picture and print it out and stick it on there. So anybody could do this. But if you go onto Facebook and you find his post, if you look up John Jack, he did a bunch of other ones too, like all different people around.
Martin was one that's got a funny picture. You know what? It something so silly. It just kind of means to me. It means something like that. You could have put anything on there. You know,
immortalized. Yeah.
yeah. And John Jack's a stand-up guy. Like he's really just. It's nice that there's someone I could trade clothes with. You know, that's pretty rare. But also, he's just a really stand-up guy. When someone goes out of their way, and he could have put anything on there, and it's us. So I go, oh, get soft in my old age.
Next, we have Karadram, who I believe is our old vampire hunter friend, isn't it?
That is Nicodemus Sandberg, the world-renowned, internationally famous vampire hunter.
And he in Discord posted these pictures of his marauders, and thank God he did a head swap. He did a better version of what I did. He got guys with gas masks, and he put the what do you call the neckerchiefs to cover up the holes, and they look awesome. And he even did the goblin snipers. If you can see them behind his vehicle there.
Are you claiming they're wearing ascots?
They are wearing ascots, yes. That's it. But he did the head swap even on the goblins, and they look awesome. And speaking of this vehicle, this is supposed to be a trike. He molded and made another wheel to turn it into a four-wheeler, and it looks so much better as a four-wheeler, I think. This is a, what do they call it? Raptor. Marauder Raptor.
It's just amazing.
Yes, everything about all of his Marauders is amazing.
I've yet to see anything that he's sent us that isn't like, that I look at it and go, oh, very well done. Like,
yeah, very creative. He's always doing something creative. Creative guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Next, we have a Hellboy from Matty Pierce. This Hellboy's awesome. First of all, really done a nice paint job. But mostly, look at that base. He's standing on a pool of skulls with a water effect, and the glow from the water effect is going up his legs and up onto his jacket. This thing is the best Hellboy I've seen painted yet. He is amazing.
That's like someone said, hey, I need a textbook light object source lighting. Please give me a reference. And this is what they did. Look, it just goes up the legs, but it's not just changing the color. It's just the legs aren't now that color. They are the color on top of the red.
Yeah, it's like a blue glow coming from the skulls and the water, and then he's got like a resin or something for the water that looks great. This thing is amazing, and like I said, this is the best Hellboy I've seen painted yet.
And I'm not sure, but I think that is non-metallic metallics too.
On his gun, yep. I see what you're saying.
On the belt, or on the.
Yep, I believe that is true. Yeah, he is that Matty Pierce guy. Amazing.
Well, thank you for making us all one and all look like simps and incompetents. Thank you.
Next, we got Paul Monday. He did his GCPS, right? They are. Well, he did. Did he do GCPS? Yeah, he did Enforcers and GCPS, I believe, because the bottom ones are GCPS for sure. And then he did Plague too, all on Battle Systems cardboard terrain. We have this set here, which makes anything look great. But I like the groups here. He did the first one's Enforcers. He's got his commando or his commando captain. I got Marauders on my head. He's got his Peacekeeper captain in the middle there, surrounded. He's got some Pathfinders, some regular Enforcers. He's got some shields in the back there, and looking good. And then he did this GCPS, and he's got his Strider and his weapon teams, and the Ronnie Renton General in the front there. And lastly, he did his Plague. He's got a bunch of Plague there, including, I think the rats there are Plague Swarms. That's what he's using for his Plague Swarms.
Oh, yeah.
And he even used the birds that you hate, and they look great in the background there.
They're even glued in the way they want you to glue them together, but they're still, they're not my thing. He might prefer them to the ones that look like the giant vultures, but for me,
yeah, I understand.
Look at that Strider.
The Plague one?
Yeah, I think that came with
so rusted out. Yeah.
that came with the building, and they're just posing around it. There's no way that's a navigable.
Yeah, really nice rust effects in that guy. And he did a similar plague. He did the pink, but it's a little bit more muted, so it's more bony, and I like that.
Yes.
And we move on to the person named Sylvan Reward. They're doing some of the Star Saga. And once again, they did the Fear, the Aberration, and the Storage Unit in the first picture. And the Aberration is that pinky color, but once again, is a little more muted. It's not that bubblegum color. It's more of a fleshy color, which I like that more. That bubblegum color has always offended me for the plague.
They've stepped it back. Even the Mantic or like the in-house painters have dialed the pink back a bit. I think most people would concur that flesh. If you're going to go for the bones being white and the muscles being fleshy, and that is a nice tone for it. And
he did the data storage unit with that brighter blue and the more mauve purple, not so dark as most people. And it does have that orange on the top, like you were saying before.
Yeah, he went like inspired by, but not adhering to. Like all the flippers being purple with the green wires, and he even did the particular silver for the things at the ends, just like the thing. But it's just by just putting that blue, going a little sky blue, it looks different.
Yeah. And he did his Fear. He's purple with a blackish armor. He looks good. That's a nice color combination. I like the black armor. That's always cool. And he also did some of the good guys. He did the Devil. He did Ogun, I think his name is, with the sentry guns, and Delinsky there. All pretty classic looking. I like how he used clear bases. I think for any kind of game like Star Saga, where bases don't matter in that game, doing the clear bases. Well, I guess bases matter for facing. That's about it. But the clear bases look great on those kind of tiles, so it's good he did that. And then he did the bad guys. He did the Monarch, who's the girl peacekeeper villain, and he did the Dr. Robotnik, the Dr. Octopus, and the security chief. All really well done.
I think that's the best Monarch I've seen.
Yeah, it's really nice how each plate is white and blue was chosen, and each plate's nice white, and the under armor is blue, and the red visor makes the evilness come out.
It really, like, everything he did about that, no, I really like that. I really do like that as the color combination, the colors used, everything. I'm just really impressed.
Yep. And then we get the Nikolovsky with the Sphere Girl. She looks good. The vampire doctor. No flesh cape on that one.
No flesh cape, but did go with a bit more greeny of a head, and
with the molted skin color with the red X kind of on top. Kirby's pretty classic there, and same with.
It looks like his jumpsuit's got parts that are made of flesh. So still, you're not escaping the symbolism or the, I don't know.
Yeah, she's disgusting. And Wrath is pretty classic, just like yours. The green and the bronze, I guess.
Again, all inspired by the box, which is nice to do. I've always said if you're trying to make an exact replica of something, you're not doing it right. As a test of your own abilities to try and do it as good as them, the same colors, that's one thing. But no one's really doing that. People are impressed by or really like the way they look, and I've seen Kirby's, and I haven't seen one that is. I've seen different eye colors, and I've seen slightly different, embellishments. But I've not seen one that they've not been white. I've not seen one that's but I'm gonna do them, camouflage.
Yeah, for some reason Kirby always needs to be white. And we got Hacker Halftail and Blaine and the Survivor there, all really well done. Nothing more to say, really. They're just really well done.
Yeah.
And a whole group shot of everybody. It's a nice set there. We'll move on. Whoops.
That's a lot of painting.
Yes, really well painted. Yeah, that was not speed painted like I did. And we'll move on to Terrence Stevens, who did some the terrain crate battle zone stuff. The real thing that I liked about this was the addition of trees and the snow. You don't get to see snowy battle zones very often, and I think this looks really nice.
All those little tufts in the snow and everything like that. It really does change even the mat isn't like an official mat. There must be a display board, not display board.
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's board, not a mat. Yeah, I think it's
so that is like a more of a I don't know, like a you're not getting pickup games, tearing it all apart.
No, this is as is. I think. Yeah. Yeah,
that's a lot of work and I like it.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's nice to see people doing terrain again. It's been a while since it's been harder to get the terrain lately. Now that it's back in stock as the terrain crate, we're going to get to see more terrain, I think.
But I got some questions now. Look, there's some peaks that are like there's no place to stand yet. It's still cover. I've never seen that before. And there's a couple just, half blocks.
Yeah, interesting use of some of the terrain there, for sure.
And a little pyramid made of the corner pieces. Like this is someone who just went to town.
Yeah, very creative.
Wow.
Next, there's somebody I've never heard of, but his name is Tyler Schultz. No, I don't know who this guy is.
Never heard.
Yes, we do. This is Schultzy. That's why we never hear him called Tyler. Who calls this guy Tyler? This is Schultzy.
I call him Nate during Adepticon.
That's right. Dreadpath's own Tyler. He did his Star Saga minis, and I like how he kind of had a theme with his heroes. They're all kind of wearing the same. It's like Blaine issued them jumpsuits, white jumpsuits. They all got white highlights on them. Not all of them, because the devil, he doesn't play that, but the other guys did.
No.
And Kirby is white, and the Plague Doctor girl, she's got more of a brownish head in that one, fleshy.
Getting back to flesh.
And I like the fact that he did the bases. He's got a little highlight on the base to make it fit in with the board a bit, which I like.
Well, now since there is paint on that base that isn't just left over from from the bottoms of feet and paint slips, that's a I don't know, a milestone in Tyler's painting evolution.
Yep, he stepped up and he actually put stuff on the base. I'm so proud of him.
Oh, they look good.
And next is another good friend of ours, my new podcast partner, Brian Novak. And he's a Gundam guy, so he's been modding up all his Striders to be Gundam Striders. And this is his 08th MS Team Strider. Big shield on the one arm, big modified gun.
The jump pack of some sort.
Yep, jump pack. The problem with Striders is the little teeny legs. It does give a funny look to them, but they're almost chibi-like when you start adding this kind of stuff. But really nicely done. I do like the mechs. And I guess now is a good time to mention that we do a show about mechs with Community Pat called Mobile Armor Radio. If you go to mobilearmorradio.podbean.com or find us on iTunes or join the group on Facebook. Mobile is spelt with an E, and armor is spelt the American way because there's 2 Americans on the show, and I'm outvoted. So there you go.
So it's Mobile Armor.
Yes, that's the way that it is spelled. Okay. So please join us. Next is another good friend of ours, Martin Thurwell.
Well, not us. I'm not on the show, but I would have been an anchor anyways. I don't know anything about anything. Well, that doesn't stop me from being on this show. So carry on.
Yeah, you can only be an anchor on one show, Jack. Billy Boat Anchor. Next is Martin Thurwell, our friend Martin from Frantic Gamers. He's been doing his enforcers with skull faces, and I always want to do this. I did an attempt at it, but Martin's perfected it. These guys look amazing.
Martin is such a good painter.
Yeah, it's cool.
I know I've been told by sources that he cheats and uses an airbrush, but but he is such a good painter. Oh, and he's a dynamite guy too.
Yeah, the first two pictures are a work in progress, but the next picture there with the tufts of grass on the base and that cool cowling on the gun. I like how he got some color in there by doing like a orangey brown cowling on his gun. Nice touch. See, I think that's what makes good painters right there, is to be able to throw something on there because he knows he's just black and white. Let's throw some color on there. And same with the base, with the color of the grass and stuff.
Right,
really
right,
nice. And then to go with this army, he did his Strider with a big skull on the front. Once again, wanted to do this, but he did it so well that I'll never do it now because it looks great. It's the Punisher Strider.
Man.
And yeah, I can see the airbrush with the white on the Strider. You can definitely tell he was highlighting with an airbrush there. Nicely done. And then he got his hands on lots of Nameless because he is part of Mantic, so they get that first. The first pictures of a Scuttler are little Scuttlers, and he's doing a almost like a fleshy reddish color on him. It's a nice look to them. And
that's like a. Oh, I just scrolled down to the backside. His backside. Don't carry on. I was just going to say he looks like something else, but now it's a whole other side to him.
Yep, he's got out of his butt. He's got a little egg-like thing with cracks in it. It's black egg with white cracks, just to add a little accent to him, to give a little difference to him. And this little Scuttler is scary looking. Next picture we got is of the Rifleman, which looks like a greenish thing on a body of worms, like all the tentacles at the bottom. He really got a worm look to them.
Of all the models I think the Nameless have, they've got some real big showboat models that will obviously look good. But this one was the one I thought I would see a lot of really interesting because it's got so much to work with. Tentacles at the bottom, the carapace at the top, and I suspect we'll be seeing a lot of really nice paint job like this on this particular model.
Yep. So, and Martin's still working on him. If you go to Deadzone Fanatics, he's posting more and more pictures of these guys. So they're coming out slowly but surely. Next we have Patrick Lefebvre. Hopefully I pronounced that somewhat right. He's doing some terrain, but I like it that it's pretty dark, but then all of a sudden he's like, I need a highlight. So he did these yellow like half walls, and I love how bright they are and like they pop so well. You can imagine them on some board really popping out there.
Yeah, again, that yellow's that's a bold yellow.
Yeah. And I like how he did it too, where that wall it's got the dark and messy part at the bottom, and he just chose the panel at the top to do the yellow part. Really, once again, if I was going to paint more of these, I would follow that kind of design choice. It's a nice eye for this kind of stuff some people have.
It does kind of look like eyes.
It does. And he also did a wall with some graffiti on it. Really beat up wall with some graffiti that looks like it's been there forever, that's flaking off. Like, that's some high level stuff. Anybody can do graffiti. But somebody to do it to make it look like it was there. Like the one at the bottom looks like it was a dread ball, but it's been like flaked off and really
cool. That's what that is. I'm not to knock it, but it's no poster of team building exercise. That's
That's true. And next we got Pete Jones. He's doing some of the big boys for the Plague. He's got an Aberration and a Stage 1. And they've got that green base like you did, Jack, but they went more of the bone color. But I like how they're two different color bones. The Stage 1's more of a creamy bone, and the Aberration's much more of a cold, like snowy almost bone look to them.
I don't know if I've seen someone go with the green that I did, and especially that Stage 1A is the green that I use.
Mm-hmm.
I think I even went a little. No, that's basically mine right there. But I don't think I've ever seen someone use the same color that I did, but then go with the white bone like that, and that has a lot of possibilities. That's really
pops.
Really, yeah.
I really like those.
And then again, both are showboat pieces. Like you can have fun. But that Aberration too. Now I'm giving him a second look too. Look at. I think I even like the gray bone more than the yellowy bone, and I always do yellowy bone.
I like the gray bone. It might be a little too gray. Maybe if there was a little bit warmth in there somehow, but a mix between the two might be nicer. But these two are both great. I think that I love that green with that bone. I think that was a really good choice.
And he did the same thing I did. You can see that he based with either a gray or a gray blue, and then worked up from that. So in all the creases, you can see bits of gray and blue and stuff. The exact same color palette, right from dry brushing, right from blue up to yellow that I did. This is right in my wheelhouse. This guy is I could see sitting and having a beer with him. I know he's a good person.
And we got Johnny G from Twitter at FlightMech5. He did his Enforcers. I like these guys because, once again, that white, for some reason, that white armor on any color really pops. And I regret not doing my Enforcers more like this. And he did blue and white, and I think they're really cool. Nice addition to the Enforcer world.
And it looks like it's a strike team. Like, without doing the math in my head, you're missing a couple troops because you've got the specialist with the Enforcer specialist, and you've got but
yeah, it's pretty close.
It's that's two models away from being a nice strike team.
Yep. And last, and definitely not least, is our good buddy Rick Hall. Rick Hall, my G.I. Joe buddy. He's gone on to another classic. What was this? Late 80s, early 90s, maybe? Biker Mice from Mars. Well, I was never into Biker Mice from Mars, but...
No, well after our time, but I get the reference. It's like if someone had said, like, Battletoads or something. Like, I know what it is, but...
I think they were riding the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles wave, these guys, with the anthropomorphized... I can't even say that word anymore. The humanoid-like animals. This one these are mice on motorcycles. So he's using this as a tunnel runner, I believe, isn't it? Is it a tunnel runner or is it a nightmare? I can't remember how he's using these guys.
I don't know either. Probably tunnel runner because that's got to be.
So but it's he's a Veerman on a motorcycle, and he looks great. He looks like he's meant to be on that motorcycle.
Well, and it's not. Obviously, that motorcycle, I don't know where it came from, was not meant to have a Veerman on it, but the legs match. Like, he must have had to cut out parts or something. I know the crotch on those Veerman. Yeah. Like, there was a lot of work. Even if you just can't appreciate that's a mouse on a motorcycle.
Doing a wheelie.
Having built a Veerman Strider and a Veerman on the jet bike, I know is the pain, and he did that. He did a lot of work.
Yes. Rick, let us know where you got that motorcycle. I almost can assume it's GW, but I maybe not. Maybe it's another company doing motorcycles. I think it looks very ogre or orc-like, maybe an orc motorcycle, but
no, if you look at the cowling on the front wheel, I see looks like a banner or a ribbon, and there's wings and stuff like.
That gives it GW feel, but I'm not sure.
Your GW feel, I think, is spot on, but
who knows? Rick, let us know. Comment below. Well, that brings us to the end. We got through a lot of shoutouts. Thank you for everyone for letting us know and putting your stuff up for us to find, because that's a big enjoyment for not only us but our listeners. When we did our poll for the contest, I think everybody said that their favorite part was the shoutout. So it's our favorite part too, I think. So. It's good that we're all on the same page.
Right.
And, I'd love to see more conversions. I'm a big conversion guy, but yes, post up your pictures, let us know, and we'll share them on the next show. Jack, I think that wraps this one up for July.
That's good. We have not failed to deliver on our promise to make sure there's Deadzone content each and every month. Multiple iterations, so another win. I've got my hand aloft in a virtual high five for my partner there.
I am slapping it as we speak.
Okay, but can you high five me?
Oh, sorry, I was busy. There might be a little. Oh, sorry about that. Anyways, until coming up really soon after this one is the team building exercise. Check that out. We're talking Nameless. We're also doing a live show every month on YouTube, on our Deadzone the Podcast YouTube channel. You can check it out later if you can't make it live. But we usually post up on all the Facebooks and all over the place when we're going to be doing those. Usually it's about mid-month. So we'll have one of those. I think this next one probably will have Community Pat and I with Jack doing a Gen Con wrap-up, if we survive. I assume that's what it'll be about. What else we got, Jack? That's about it, I think.
Yeah, you gloss over, Gen Con, maybe a wrap-up. That's going to be that's either you're underestimating the power of Gen Con or you're playing it low-key. You're just being sly on the down low.
Maybe. Yes, if you're at Gen Con, come to Mantic Open Night. It's going to be on Saturday, I believe, at the Hard Rock Bar. What do they call those things?
Cafe.
Is that what it is? It's not a cafe, though. It's weird. Anyways, it's going to be there, and you can get tickets online, or I'm sure you could probably buy tickets while you're there.
Yeah, you can look at all the movie memorabilia, meet Sylvester Stallone. You can,
or you can meet Community Pat. Oh, and also, I guess Ronnie's going to be there, too.
Big wigs. Rub elbows.
Yeah. Or just come by the booth if you're at Gen Con. Mantic will have a booth there. It's 800 and something. I'm not sure the number. So it can't be. How big can the dealer hall be at Gen Con? I'm sure it'll be one of the other. It's one of the 5 booths that are there. I've never been to one, but I assume it's pretty small. I think it's got to be smaller than Deadzone, right, Jack?
Just go to the doorway and just yell in, Rob! And clearly,
I'll just be like, I'll do a hand wave and come on over.
Yeah, it'll be that easy.
I'm positive. Yeah. It's a small little con. Maybe it'll take off eventually. It is in Indianapolis. Like, who ever goes there?
That's my favorite state.
Indiana? It's because you sing the song.
Well, there's an Indiana song.
I believe so. From one of those musicals. Gary, Indiana.
Like Oklahoma.
Yeah, but with Indiana. Okay,
you've now made it my second favorite state with your terrible song. Good going, Arkansas. You've gotten the number 1.
Arkansas. We know it's called Arkansas, people. Don't write us. Okay, until next time, I'm Rob.
And I'm Jack.
Let's get out of here before the heat melts our brains anymore. It's not our fault.
Coach.
No.
You know, he's in his
I'm
car.
Pat.
He's in his car saying I'm Coach afterwards. So.
Okay, bye-bye. Stop talking.
See ya.
Why are you still here? Leave.
Oh.
They won't leave. Jack, what are we supposed to do? They won't leave.
They won't go. Just...
We tried everything. We tried everything to make these people stop listening. What more can we do?
We produce terrible, unfunny content. And misinformed people on a daily basis, and yet they keep returning.
Gluttons for punishment, that's what they are.
And more of them keep showing up, so I don't know. I don't understand.
Jack, I think this thing's still on.
Oh, Jesus.
Right.
Thank you for listening to the Deadzone Podcast. I have been your announcer, William Randolph Wintergreen. Visit the website, deadzonegame.podbean.com. Email your hosts at deadzonepodcast@gmail.com. On Twitter, you can follow the show at Deadzone Podcast. The Deadzone Podcast is a production of Vinland Old Time Radio Productions.
I'm back. Hello? Jack's dead. Oh well. I knew it was going to happen one day. Hello?
Yellow.
You're not dead.
No.
I was discussing with the listeners how you were dead.
Since there's a water main break down the road, I had to start turning on all my taps and letting the air out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, as amazing as as riveting as that is, that's what happens when you live in the middle of nowhere.
Fancy.
It's exact opposite, Rob. The polar opposite of fancy.
Get this mofo done.
Get this mofo done. Okay.